con los terroristas.
They do the Harlem Shake.
For a guy who moved all day long, Paulie didn't talk to 6 people. If there was a union problem or, say, a beef in the numbers, then only the top guys could meet with Paulie to discuss the problem. Everything was one-on-one. Paulie hated conferences. He didn't want anybody hearing what he said, and he didn't want anybody listening to what he was being told. Hundreds of guys depended on Paulie, and he got a piece of everything they made. It was tribute, just like in the old country, except they were doing it here in America. And all they got from Paulie was protection from other guys looking to rip them off. And that's what it's all about. That's what the FBI could never understand. That what Paulie and the organization does is offer protection for people who can't go to the cops. That's it. That's all it is. They're like the police department for wise guys. In prison, dinner was always a big thing. We had a pasta course, and then we had a meat or a fish. Paulie did the prep work. He was doing a year for contempt, and he had this wonderful system for doing the garlic. He used a razor, and he used to slice it so thin that it used to liquefy in the pan with just a little oil. It's a very good system. Vinny was in charge of the tomato sauce.
Ah, got the smell. Got 3 kinds of meat in the meatballs.
What'd you put in it?
Veal, beef, and pork.
Ah, good, but you gotta have the pork.
Oh, that's the flavor.
I felt he used too many onions, but it was still a very good sauce.
Vinny, don't put too many onions in the sauce.
I didn't put too much onions, Paul. 3 small onions, that's all I did.
3 onions. How many cans of tomatoes you put in there?
I put 2 cans, 2 big cans.
You don't need 3 onions.
Johnny Dio did the meat. We didn't have a broiler, so Johnny did everything in pans. I used to smell up the joint something awful, and the hacks used to die, but he still cooked a great steak.
Vinny, how do you like yours?
Rare, medium rare.
Medium rare. Aristocrat.
See, you know, when you think of prison, you get pictures in your mind of all those old movies with rows and rows of guys behind bars. But it wasn't like that for wise guys. It really wasn't that bad, except that I missed Jimmy. He was doing his time in Atlanta.
Vinny, give me 2 steaks while you're in there, all right, John? Sure enough, she goes in a...
I mean, everybody else in the joint was doing real time, all mixed together, living like pigs. But we lived alone. I mean, we owned the joint.
Both batted them 2 son of a bitches. You couldn't recognize them.
Good, they deserved it.
Even the hacks we couldn't bribe would never rat on the guys that we did.
The neighborhood had respect. People loved one another. You left your doors open.
Sorry it took so long. The skinny guard's getting to be a real pain in the ass.
We're gonna have to do something about that bed.
I took care of him.
All right, what'd you bring?
All right, bread.
Good. Fresh.
Vinny, I got your peppers and onions, salami, prosciutto, a lot of cheese.
Come on. What else?
Scotch.
Nice.
Some red wine.
Okay. Now we could eat.
I got some white,
Give
too.
me the white, too. Beautiful. Okay, boys, let's eat. Come on, it's ready. Vinny,
Coming up for some more bread.
tomorrow we eat sandwiches. You gotta go on a diet, Vinny.
Sandwiches are a kid.
Believe me. Johnny? Look at me.
Won't start until it's touched. They'll have to throw it up. Garherd, turnaround, shot in the air. It's good. It's tied again. I don't believe it. We've got a 3rd overtime in a Boston gun.
2 seconds. 1 second. West throws it up. He makes it. West threw it up and makes it. Jerry West made it from the other side of the midcourt stripe.
Career's
putting the ball on a play. He gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it over to Stan Jones. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over. Johnny Havlicek is being mobbed by the fans. Johnny Havlicek stole the ball.
Excitement and great plays have always been part of the NBA playoffs. Perhaps it's the heightened competition. Perhaps it's a sense for drama. Playoff time seems to offer a special invitation for basketball's most extraordinary moments. This legacy continued in 1985 as heralded rookies gave dazzling performances. While tireless veterans flashed old spark, men of all ages were once again filled with the loftiest of aspirations.
There's no turning back. Help me make the most of freedom and our pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to. There's a room where the light won't find you. So glad we've always made it. So sad they had to fade it. Everybody wants to.
Every year, 23 teams vie for the NBA title, but only one can be crowned as champion. The Boston Celtics earned that honor a year ago by defeating the Los Angeles Lakers in a 7th and deciding game. To the Celtics came the spoils of victory. To the Lakers came the bitter frustrations of second place. Like the Celtics, the Lakers had already won 2 titles during the 1980s and were accustomed to the rewards of complete victory. For the champion Celtics and the vengeful Lakers, the new season had one sole purpose: to recapture what seemed rightfully theirs, an NBA title, and return to glory. The Boston Celtics began their title defense against the Cleveland Cavaliers, a once woeful team just missing twin upsets at the Boston Garden. The Celtics' close victories also came at a price. Larry Bird's aggravated elbow forced Boston star player to miss Game 3, an absence that bolstered the confidence of the home court Cavaliers. Noted Celtic killer World B. Free went into orbit, scoring 34 points, while teammate Roy Hinson slammed the Celtics to the floorboards, tightening the series 2-1. The Cavs averted a 3-game sweep and pondered the possibility of an upset. To do so, the Cavaliers would have to overcome Bird's return to the lineup. Bird was fresh from his 2nd consecutive MVP season, and even injured, he was a dangerous adversary. Throughout his career, Bird has been able to transcend pain and injury to produce great games, many of them at Cleveland's expense. The Cavalier faithful were looking to make the Celtic forward an endangered species, but this Bird was one loose goose. With Bird exuding extreme confidence, Cavs fans desperately attempted to rattle his concentration. First they tried with a standing wave. Then they used a moving one, but that too didn't work as Bird coped with all distractions. The Cavaliers then had to use a little elbow grease to knock Bird off his high perch. Yet Bird remained unruffled. He dusted himself off and poured in 42 points, proving that Cleveland's dreams for an upset were just flying on a wing and a prayer. With Cleveland disposed of, the Celtics' attention turned towards Detroit, where the Silverdome roof was literally caving in on the Pistons. A violent snowstorm forced the action to downtown Joe Louis Arena, but Detroit's surrogate home court seemed all too accommodating for the visiting Green. Down 2-1 and Piston hopes crumbling in Game 4, Coach Chuck Daly gave reserve guard Vinnie Johnson the directive to shoot at will. Johnson's rapid-fire assault wiped out Boston's 11-point fourth-quarter lead as he personally outscored the Celtic team 22-12 in the final frame. For Chuck Daly, Johnson was right on target. Johnson's heroics also baffled the Celtics, for it wasn't Detroit's 3 All-Stars who evened the series, but an unheralded, happy-shooting man named Johnson. Appropriately, the Celtics had a Johnson of their own, Dennis Johnson, another guard who sparkles in the playoff limelight. DJ's aching wrist made him miss the morning practice, but no injury could slow him down from a 30-point evening. Daly turned to his own version of Johnson, and it again paid off, as Vinny connected on 8 of his first 9 shots. Despite Vinnie Johnson's show-stopping performance, the Boston Garden is a floor meant for Celtic greats like Larry Bird. Bird answered the call with 43 points in Game 5 and continued his mastery in Game 6 to give the Celtics a 4-2 series victory. Boston's postseason show moved now into the Eastern Conference Finals, forcing the proud but defeated Pistons to exit stage right.